All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this weekly update. My name is Rainey. I am the proud mayor of the great city of Peekskill, New York. Today's date is November 3rd, 2021, and I'm joined for this weekly update, as I am every week, with our awesome city manager, Andy Stewart. Andy, good afternoon.
Mayor, it's wonderful to see you on this beautiful day.
Yes. Likewise. It is a nice day outside. I'm actually in the vehicle right now. Decided to pull over so I can do this weekly update on time with Andy. Thank you sincerely. But I am on the road. But as always, we do these weekly updates to give you all a little bit of information on where the city of Peekskill is with COVID, also with vaccinations. And then we've also decided to share some more information that we think is worthy of your time or to address some of the concerns, issues, and questions that we've heard. So starting as we always do, I'm gonna turn it over to you, Andy. Let's talk about COVID.
Thanks, Mayor. It's an incremental change from last week. The case rate for people who have COVID reported in the city has basically been flat in the low to mid 30s for the last couple of weeks. As of October 31st, there were 38 active cases. The weeks before, we were down around 32, 34. If you go back to mid-September, there was 72 and some higher numbers as you go back a little further. Obviously, as we go back into February, there was 150 or something like that. So our case rate has been kind of steady, and we haven't seen a lot of surge lately. The vaccination rate is also steadily improving, Mayor, over the last few weeks. The most recent data from the county says we're at 79.9% of city residents who are eligible for the vaccine are vaccinated or have at least one shot. So that number has been coming up. It was much lower a while ago. Back in August, it was only 67%. Back in May, it was only 47%. So the community has been increasing its rate of vaccination. As you're aware, the federal government is allowing children to get vaccinated. So we expect to see a lot more activity in that area as well.
Absolutely. That's great to know.
So, I guess I was probably worried about a real surge in cases due to the Delta variant earlier this year. But so far, so good, Mayor. I am a little concerned as winter comes and cold weather pushes people, indoors. There may be more transmission. So we encourage people to continue to try to protect their health however they can.
Yeah, that's almost inevitable. They've been talking about that on the state level too. Um, we can continue to encourage people to limit their gatherings, wear your masks, sanitize your hands and areas in your household. And it's we have no exact date on when this is going to come to an end, or if this is ever going to come to an end. So it's hard for people to continue to spend holidays without their entire family, and we get it. But for the safety of everyone, we do ask that everybody try their best to limit their gatherings, especially during the holiday season. So
I do want to mention that the Youth Bureau is running a COVID kind of town hall event coming up on the 6th. And that should be a good opportunity for anybody who wants to participate in that. It's free, and you can find out by just looking at the city's Facebook page. You can find out more about that.
Perfect. Great.
We try to promote information that's useful to people wherever we can.
Yeah. All right. So there's COVID, folks. So any questions, concerns, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to contact us. And again, we'll be keeping you updated every week. I do want to make a special announcement. As everybody knows, yesterday was November 2nd, election day. And the unofficial results are out. And it looks like our deputy mayor, Mackenzie, was successful at securing the majority of the votes. So she will be the city of Peekskill's next mayor beginning next year, 2022. So congratulations to Deputy Mayor Vivian Mackenzie. Very, very happy for her. I'm looking forward to supporting her through the transition as I close out my term to make sure that her term starts off on the right foot. I also want to congratulate the other candidates that will be taking office in January, which is our Councilman Dwight Douglas, who will be reelected, and Councilman Ramon Fernandez, who will be reelected, as well as a new addition to the City Council next year, a young man by the name of Rob Scott, who will Councilman-elect Rob Scott. So congratulations to the four of you. And I'm excited for the direction that Peekskill is going to go under this new administration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I look forward to seeing if the new Mayor McKenzie, if she wants to continue these weekly presentations, or if we work on some other ways of communicating with the community.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
Yeah, so
I
congratulations
haven't
to everybody.
stopped smiling since yesterday.
Uh, it's always, you know,
What
the
else we got
city
going on?
city actually hosts the elections in the firehouse, neighborhood center, and so on, and it seems like a lot of people came out to vote, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, she will be the first African American female mayor of the city of Peekskill. And when her term begins, she will be the only mayor alongside Sean Patterson of Mount Vernon. That's an African American
Hmm.
female in the state of New York.
Hmm.
So we
Yeah,
did
that's a remarkable accomplishment, for sure.
absolutely.
And I look forward to working more closely with her as you move on to other projects. I'll do everything I can as I always do to try to support the mayor and the council. We've had really busy meetings lately. There's always a ton of work to do, a lot of decision making, and so we'll keep the pace up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. So, what else we got? I know there's some events coming up, some community events and some things to look forward to.
Well, just a couple of mentions. Just first of all, thank you to the Youth Bureau and the Recreation Department for running Halloween-related good times. The pumpkin painting on Sunday with the recreation, and the haunted kind of parking lot event with the Youth Bureau with kids in costumes, and it's really just great to see the spirit. Hopefully, everybody had a good time and trick or treating and so on. Stayed safe. It's beautiful to see the costumes and the community spirit there. So there's that. I want to let people know we're thrilled to report that our paving program for the year is done. It finished on Highland Ave on Friday, and so enjoy those smooth, beautiful new roads. The Public Works Department did a great job with that, and we're thrilled to have that finished. As just one big project that we can check that off the list until next year. I mentioned before that there's going to be that COVID health kind of town hall meeting that the Youth Bureau is organizing on the 6th. People should keep an eye out for that and join in if they're interested. I also want to mention that coming up next week is Veterans Day, which is important. I know, Mayor, you're always mentioning the veterans in your openings of city meetings, respecting their commitment and sacrifice. So on Thursday, the 11th, there'll be an event over at Monument Park led by the veterans themselves with support from the police and high school and other folks. So come out and pay your respects at that park on Thursday morning.
Perfect.
And folks can find information about that as well online. What other kinds of things we can mention here?
That's always a nice ceremony too.
Yeah,
and they do a really good job with that.
a lot of policy work happening with the city council right now, Mayor, as you're aware. Last night we talked about something I know a project very near and dear to your heart, which is the Boys and Girls Club of Northern Westchester. And this is really a transformational project for the city of Peekskill. The housing authority has leased the Kylie Center to Boys and Girls Club. The club obtained $4 million in capital finance from the state and the county to really expand that building and make it a state-of-the-art youth facility for youth and families. They've moved it through the planning board. They've gotten site plan approval. And the final piece on that was a funding agreement with the city so that they can be assured of the continuation of recreational services over there that the city has seen for many years. So the council discussed that last night, and we're looking forward to finalizing that agreement.
Absolutely.
So I know that you worked hard on that, Mayor. So you must be thrilled to see it moving along.
I can't tell you enough how excited I am. This is something that I think our kids deserve more than anything, and our kids, we talk so much about what our youth need and how we can improve their lives, and now we have an opportunity, and I'm glad it went through despite all of the false information and lack of information that's being put out there about it. And I look forward to the completion of the project and being a part of the support team to make sure it lasts, and of course collaborates with the city of Peekskill.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, no, they have an amazing portfolio of programs down in Mount Kisco that they're looking to bring to the city, and I'm sure they're going to get a lot of local support and sort of adapt their programs to what the community is interested in seeing. And so a lot of work happening there. Eventually, at some point during 2022, the facility will be closed for construction, and then that'll get completed, and they'll be opening up.
There we go.
God willing, right?
God willing. Yes, yes, yes. And the lives of our youth can be transformed even more.
Keep it
with
moving
the
along.
support of the school district and the local arts organizations like Arts 105.66 and the Youth Borough. It's just gonna be a place where people are gonna feel even greater to be able to raise their families here and children. So.
Yeah, and what's amazing is that the that group is raising money that's going to they're going to increase staffing and increase programming using their private resources in addition to the city's funding. So it's a great return on investment for the city to see expanded youth programming. Spending roughly the same amount of money as before, only they're bringing in all of their resources that they have as well.
Right, it's going to be huge.
So excited about that for sure.
Yeah, and I just want to share too. Speaking with the director, they were even, because they want to make this transition as smooth as possible, but they want to make it welcoming for the community. And one of the things that they mentioned that they wouldn't, be opposed to doing is keeping the name. I know a lot of people who use the utilize the Kylie Center. When I was growing up, we always called it the canteen.
Mm-hmm.
So the Boys and Girls Club was saying they'll try to find a way to incorporate the canteen in the name of the building, so it doesn't really push people away. It actually welcomes people to a new version of home.
Yeah, I think that symbolically is important to try to have continuity and
right.
keep up the positive spirit that's been built around that place.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Take it to a whole new level for sure. So a couple of the policy issues we're working on right now, you're going to see come back around on the 15th when we have our next council of the whole meeting. For example, the affordable housing ordinance and the tree protection ordinance have both been under review by the planning commission, and we're going to have information and comments back and the work of staff to try to adapt to those comments and give the city council an update on those two very important laws that have been kind of in the workshop mode for a while. So looking forward to that. I want to note also that the last night the city council decided to move forward with the ban on smoking in city parks. This has been something under consideration in the Parks Advisory Committee for several years, and recently got some traction, and the city council decided to move forward. So that ban will be voted on next week. There's already a public hearing about it and a lot of public comment, so on. So we're moving that forward. The other item moving forward is the fire chief position, which requires a change in law, which is subject to a public hearing. So that we had a public hearing on that. The city council is getting ready to move forward with a vote so that we can continue to move forward in supporting the fire department and both our volunteers and our professional firefighters having all the support that they need and oversight the city needs as well. So that's moving forward. That's another area of work for the city council that's kind of moving along. What else should I mention? We had a great presentation about the kitchen incubator project on Monday night, which is really an amazing project. It's the old Centennial Firehouse out on Washington Street. The building's been vacant and it's owned by the city. It has to go to a community use, and we're working with the county to develop a kitchen business incubator facility there, where people who wanted to start a business could rent commercial kitchen space and get support services associated with that to get their businesses off the ground, whether they're creating a new recipe or putting a product out. Maybe they're a farmer who comes to farmers markets and needs some specialized services related to that. So I think we may have just lost the mayor actually for a minute there. I'm sure he'll come back. But the kitchen incubator project is really exciting. It's being undertaken with support of the IDA and our economic development specialist, Matt Rudikoff, who works at City Hall, with preparing for a federal grant application actually to support the planning process to create that kitchen incubator, which would essentially be commercial kitchen space. It makes it affordable for businesses to start creating product without having to borrow kitchen space in the middle of the night from a restaurant, or to actually develop their own kitchens so that they can get a product going. So I wanted to mention that as well. Unfortunately, we've lost the mayor. Let me see if we can get him back. Hold on a minute. What happened to the mayor? If he doesn't get back within a minute or two, we'll just wrap this little show up. Here we go. Mayor, we lost you for a minute there. Are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have audio. Yeah, now you're back on video now too.
All right, good. Yeah, sorry about that. I guess sitting in the dashboard, my phone overheated. You said in order to restore, you have to let your phone cool off. So sorry about that.
Modern technology, right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
finished with a little summary of the kitchen incubator project, which we had a presentation on Monday night from Matt Rudikoff and folks from the IDA and others. It's exciting to see that project moving forward, creating opportunity to grow local businesses and create employment and build skills for entrepreneurs and so on. Are you still there, Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, because your video shut off for a second.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, just a million other things moving forward. The other big policy one is the cannabis or marijuana retail question. There's been a good deal of debate. The city, in order to, if the city does nothing, the state legalization will enable retail shops to set up in the city through the state certification process. The city can opt out of that law, either for cannabis lounges or for dispensaries, and the discussion is centered on whether or not that's the right thing to do. We're going to set a public hearing as if the city wanted to opt out of either of those, so that the public could come and speak again on it, and the city council can make a final determination as to what it wants to do. That determination has to be made before December 31st. So we're starting to see the timeline for that decision making come together. Sorry, Mayor, you're on mute right now. We can't hear you. There you go.
Sorry about that. I said it was definitely a healthy debate. A lot of great points. I do want to encourage people to continue to express their support or their opposition towards either one. There has been a lot of data that people's been using, and unfortunately and unfortunately, you can Google data for anything now. So it's really up to the city and to the council to make a decision that's going to benefit the city of Peekskill individually, because I mean, some people were saying that they researched that in one city when the dispensaries came, it was the greatest thing in the world. And then other people were saying they Googled or they researched in another city that they brought dispensaries and it was the worst thing in the world. So it's a lot of information out there. So the idea is kind of try to focus on the city of Peekskill, understand our community, and make a decision based upon what's going to benefit us the best.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt that the businesses bring a lot of money and traffic and so on. And so the question is sort of how to manage that if the city council goes forward with it to make sure it's properly planned. Again, you know, it's the state has legalized those retail businesses. It just questions whether or not the city is going to participate in that. It has no effect on whether or not people can smoke marijuana. That's legal. And a bunch of other associated businesses, there's delivery or growing or anything else, are all outside the city's jurisdiction.
Right.
So that's the status of that. That may be enough for today, Mayor. I'm not seeing a lot of questions online. I have one person, Ms. Ratcliffe, asking about kid-friendly vaccine clinics, because now that 5 to 11-year-olds are included in the vaccination approval, the question is, how are people going to access that service? I think we're going to see a lot of communications around that in the coming weeks as pharmacies and schools and pediatricians and others start to offer that service. I don't have any specific information about local pediatricians or pharmacies doing that now, but I think it's true that children require some special attention. You know, you don't just sort of line them up and jab them in the arm in the same way you do with adults. So there needs to be some planning for that, for sure, so that everybody's comfortable.
I agree.
But that's what we've got for right now, Mayor. If you have anything else.
No, that's it. I said everything I wanted to say. So Andy, to the people who are watching, we are going to return to our Tuesday schedule. Yesterday was election day, and there's a lot going on yesterday, so I had to move it. I had asked if we could move it to today, but next week we'll be back on here Tuesday afternoon at 12:15. Other than that, Andy, thanks for all you do for the great city of Peekskill. God bless you all. We'll see you same time next week on Tuesday.
All right, Mayor. Take care. Okay. Drive safe.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.